Good morning, folks. It's 0707 on the second month, 28th day, 2025. Yeah, I'm looking at here as the approach of Alfie towards what do you call this area? Oh, the Capricorn coast. I mean, it kind of looks like she's just going to shave here. I might be able to take the totals down for some of these areas back there, thank goodness, because the EMF is telling me a move. And I always go by what the sky says. Hey, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah, because there's a lot of people up there hanging out, waiting for me to say something like that. And so I just did. And so I'm going to go over what the worst case scenario would be. I don't really care what anybody else says, right? Because I go by this. I usually go by this. But as you can see, once again, the area of interest that we need to know about, which is over here, right, towards this shoreline, is missing from NASA worldview, right? It is missing, it has been hidden. And it's not like the image does not exist, because there it is, right there. And this all comes from the same place. These images, they come from the U.S. Navy, and the U.S. Navy sends them over to Japan, Meteorological Service over there, and they give them out to the world. And so somewhere between here and there, it's been told not to do it, right? This storm is still here, absolutely pinned in place, going nowhere, held in a wall of EMF. You see that? She ain't drifting nothing. It's just there. And until that goes away, then that is never going to move towards the east. It's impossible. Okay, so this is held. And that line right there is telling me that's as far as that can ever go. And this line here is telling me she can't go any further that direction. So it's kind of just hovering. She moves south, 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 and hits another flow. And I do see a bit of a pulse move coming from the edge of the clouds over here. You see this side here? Rocky turned on its beams, right? So this area is heated now. It's created a wall. I could see a plasma line coming right over the top near where the airport is. Yeah. And this area here has been left open. It is. It's open for travel. Okay, so I'm seeing that direction. Here's the eye. You got to admit, it's not very round. If I could do a zoom on that, the little super zoom bit I call it is, yeah, we always got to shorten everything. The soup zoom. When you zoom in on your alphabet soup and all it has is swear words in it, you know you got a Tourette's Campbell can. All right, here we go. Now let's look into the Tourette's storm here. Look at all the different bombs here. You see this here? That's a chem bomb. And it's in a hex shape. All those lines was connected. So that has a solidity to it. There's a bomb there as well, same type. And the storm is held like this. But if you look in the center, it's not a clear eye. It's not round at all. It almost looks like there's something missing there. Let's just write BOM. And turn that into the bell end. Yeah, fuck them. They lie like a rugs, man. They're probably watching this broadcast now to change there. You see this line right here? There's really a definitive steering line I can see in this storm right now. So I'm gonna show it. I didn't notice this earlier. There's a lot to notice. Yet I gotta admit, after 2 hours, you get a bit blurry. So let's have a look. I see a line here, a flow line. It's defined, absolutely defined. That's You guys are gonna be okay. You'll be okay over here. Yeah, this coastline here is gonna get it, and she should come in. She should come in here and hook in because of the Bradshaw effect going on right there. I know something. I see it in the clouds. And that's where the hook in is. There's really not much other place for it to go. Or the park. Park over through this path. That's another channel that's been created for it. Once it hits this area, it has to slow down, slow, and darn. It has to. I'm not saying you're not going to get affected by water, but anywhere in this path here, it can get that landfall. And the beans are going to decide it all. So one of the first things I do in the morning is come over here and I saw Pac-Man. I don't know anything else what to say. There was a lot of beams went across eyes. It really, I'm expecting a heat wave to come in for some of y'all because of this EMF move that's been done and some little bit of quake risk. This area here has been blasted. I caught 4 beams. I caught it that. I caught it this, and I caught it that, like this. Trapezoided it. Yeah, like that. Excuse me. That was the next thread that did that. So these areas are getting really hot, right? But when I come in here, I just draw the lines. Just draw the lines. You see that move? That's the pulse. It's moving the storm. It actually moved it 2 degrees towards the east. You see this big beam curving up? They ain't getting past this. It ain't getting past that. And the step move is still taking it right in here. It's actually increased, and I see this in the clouds as well. The channel is right here. Actually, I'll take that a little north. It's more defined. It's the path. It's the path, folks. That's where it's open. I don't see any other way this can go. It's the only thing right now that's been left open. And she could stall all along this coast. Once it hits this corridor here, she can come right in along this coastline and just park. You probably come here. There's not, with this line here, it's going to have a hard time getting underneath that. And so it's going to sit there a bit, slow move it, and then just pan the beam south. This thing, move it. Move that south. And then the storm will go with it. This is not looking good at all. But I do see something showing up on my maps that's saying so too. Because this is a flow corridor here. Everything on this side here is shut. I don't see how I can get in there, into here. It's almost impossible. There's a bit of a flow here that you can get into. See that square right here? It's a flow line where they could spit moisture in. I think you got a coastal cruiser. I think this tendril line here is very valid. In this corridor here is an escape route. That's what I call it. But you got 10 days for them to move all these channels around. Yeah, and then she dives south. That's going to die. It's nearly dead now. I went and I had a look. Gonna have a look this morning. It's even been downgraded on the tropical cyclone page. When I went over here, watch this. Yeah, that's almost dead, but its water's still there. See, that's its last 24 hours. There's that guiding beam here that's going over right about 117 L over here. See, and I do go by these numbers a lot. It shows me distances traveled, so when I look at these grids, so that sucker's almost dead. Dead. But this one here is well captured. I'm not picking up Cat 3 winds in this storm. I'm not finding this statistic to be valid, and I'm not finding their predicted path to be valid. EMF says different, and until you acknowledge geoengineering, let's have a peek at the whip move that was needed to do this. Wait, she pinned flat on that side. Look at this eye. Just in this corner, that down there is big beams whipping. So they're whipping at that side and that side. They really left a steering pattern over towards this. Watch her move over. Right down about here. That's being aimed into a predicted place. It's all the atmospheric dynamics, man. They've got an eddy moving, and once you've got something moving, it's really easy to nudge it. You ever see a top, and when you bump it with another top, what happens? These are big tops, and they're moving really fucking slow. Yeah. The coastal cruiser. I'm not liking this at all. That's going to pump a lot of water in along these coastline. I'm just going to go right to the kill. Watch this. I've been dreading this. Hi. You want some rain? Who was saying they ain't been getting enough rain? Who said that? And that's the only one that's still sticking with the BOM. I'm sticking with myself. I tell you, I go by what the EMF said in this. This is likely. This could be likely to happen. And I don't want to have to do this to you, Northern Rivers. 3 years nearly from the anniversary of a fucking absolute disgusting disaster. Which even 3 years ago from today, people were still not even able to get back to their house. I have to come down your coast and show you terrible totals again of a worst case scenario of the flooding again of the northern south of Wales. Yeah, this is bad. As they can control and aim these storms and stall them, anybody who says they know exactly what something's doing is fucking fooling themselves. And I'm not fooling myself. And don't anybody ever say I know exactly what's going to happen. But I'll tell you what, this graphic here is matching the step move. It's matching the step move that it's showing up that I just showed you a few moments ago. So I'm very, very, very concerned. And I'm not going to make it a super lengthy show. But I'm really happy to see some of these disaster lines moving south. Well, it's going to spit some water off. It's not giving them the totals I was expecting to see, thank goodness, and I'm very happy to say that. But got to remember, when they can use stuff with the beams, and I'm going to put this in motion for you, how quickly things can change. And we know for a fact they're trying to hide the actual real weather from us, or they would not be leaving the clouds blank on NASA Worldview, like I showed you earlier, that are over this storm for the second time in a row. And they show you a pack, man. That was just like seeing the planet Pluto looking like the dog Pluto. And people went, wow. So they can heat you up all through here. So I'm going to go through some of the forecasts, some of the beams. There's so many of them on here that went across the middle of your country. Absolutely turned the roaster on. So you can expect some heat coming. And I just told you something I've been dreading. I've known this since yesterday. I just didn't want to do a worst case scenario show. But when I see the storm moving more southerly towards its impact area, that part where I said, I'm not sure what's going to happen because of the Bradshaw effect. Yeah. So let's see. I want temperature. Here we go. You guys get some hot coming, man. They just turned the roaster on all in this area here. I just found out the other day if I put my finger on the screen, it'll make this little dot. Yeah. So expect to see the dot. Dot will show up. Cold nights for the coastline of New South Wales. Now, perfect feeding conditions for a tropical system. Absolutely perfect. Let me see if I can pick up anything in the temperature differences. Yeah, you guys got the hot coming. Yeah, we looking as they hold this off coast, it's going to have to heat up out here. Yeah, you had to. Had to. Big tendril of the hots are going to come right through here. Yep. That's the roaster, man. They turn them microwaves on, you guys gonna get hot. Or when you put your coffee cup in the microwave, is it cooling down? Really? But it's happening, man. There's no chemtrails over America. You want to bet? You want to bet? Who's saying this one? That there's no chemtrails over America? I'm fucking, it's laughable. Don't you guys know how easy it is to fact check that? You just go over here and look. Well, let's go to Washington, D.C. itself. Can't even see it. It's so smashed. Look at North Carolina. It's just as far as I need to go. Don't you tell me there's no chemtrails left in the United States. S-36 is over Chesapeake Bay. Says different. It's marking the beast right there, right on Mother Earth herself. Don't you tell me there ain't any chemtrails in the United States when you could easily go see that it is not. It is not. If you're looking for a savior, look in the mirror. And we've all got to be screaming about this because this is California, absolutely smashed out, toxified by the toxifiers. So don't anybody ever tell me that they ended chemtrails in the United States of America. Because I say, stop lying. Or, as we used to say when I was a kid, don't you lie to me, motherfuckers. Look at the step move here for moisture. See it? You'll start to notice that move. You look for it. Yeah, that's a hard one for them to hide. And then you come over to Australia today and you get high. We need to see the storm over here. Where the fuck is it? So I had to go over here. And I said, oh, there you are. I got you. We got this. So there she is in motion, moving on along. The roaster's coming in. There's a bad path to this that nobody knows what it's going to do. Let's be honest. Anybody who says I'm an infallible, perfect weather forecaster, you're putting undue pressure on me. I don't have a big weather team of people. Higgins, you need to get it right. You charging people 50 claims apiece just to hear your pontifications. And I imagine his forecast is about to change. Because I just did an update and told them the worst case scenario. And it's likely. I wouldn't tell you a worst case scenario showing step moves if I didn't have a map to show you that. You see the coastal cruiser here? Slingshot's back. You see, they lie to your asses. Ain't none of this shit matching up. So this is a day of interest for you guys. When we go to access, which now you have to tick a different button to go get. It's not as obvious to go use. You get this. You get the coastal cruiser that's matching up with the scenario. Boy, it's going to take some hard-on radars from Gimpy to hold that fucker off coast. Yeah, it is. To do the move they're going to do now, you're going to see some incredible radars next rat action through this area in here to hold it off coast, because there's nowhere for it to go when the pressures are like this. And I dare say that over the next 3 weeks, the passage of water over the far north Queensland is to continue. The conditions again remain perfect for the forming of tropical systems. So again, yeah, I think you got a very wet month coming to some of you people. As this moves, something else will come in. See this gap right here in the pressure right here? Whoa, excuse me. Come on, I don't care about that. Right there where I'm pointing. That's gonna bring up some cold air from down here and here. Oh, I'm liking that. This here's got hot air back here holding it all off. All back here is all just blocked. So really, I'm actually seeing the steps right here in those totals. I have a deep concern. So I'm going to let this just play out. I'm going to sip up my coffee and hang my head and say, why? And the answer comes to me immediately from the oneness. Oneness says, follow the money. Follow the money. This is not good. So how they bringing it in? They going to strip the moisture off? Or they curveballing you? Because there's nowhere for this to go. Burnt Pine Island's going to be frying like fuck. Yeah, the storm that just won't go away. That's curveball right there. As she goes back into, that should be Cat 1. I'm looking at the formation and the pressures around it. This should be Cat 1, reforming right off the coast of Goldie over there. Just in time for the surfing contest or something. I don't know, just in time for some freedom for your roads. Yep, that's right there in the state line area heading south. So maybe Queensland cut a deal in New South Wales, says, go ahead. We can have that Bruce Highway action. Yeah, go on. They ain't ready for this. Nobody's predicted nothing for them. That's the weirdest fucking thing ever, right over to the top of you, Goldie. So we're going to have to watch this very closely because they're showing some absolute craziness. And to look at the pressures, I say it's well possible because I don't see how the other forecasts are going to play out with these EMF walls that have been put in place out here. I don't see how. I did a markup. I could do another one. It's impossible. Let's just pull up a moment there and mark what we see. That's fucked up, isn't it? I can't really see your comments. I haven't even looked to see if I'm going. Right? She ain't going past that. No time soon. There's an alleyway there. So if it did come to a stall right here, it has an escape route. So we'll have to watch that. But this big wall coming up here is going to make that difficult. Pinned. Yeah, coastal cruiser. That line's right there, definitive. Yeah, it could be an in and out. It depends on what the next red does over the next few days. We will not know. And with that said, and with that done, I bid you all adieu.